Hey there, David here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about product page and how to optimize your product page for the best conversions and to have the best user journey possible. In this exercise, I'm going to be comparing two different brands and the difference between how their product pages are set and what you can improve upon on your own product pages. So I'll try to keep it brief. I'll basically start with a bad example. So first of all, if you're not aware, the above the fold section basically means what you can see when you come to the site without scrolling, right? So basically we're now on the product page, and without scrolling, this is basically what we see. Now we have a few problems here. The first one is this banner. This should not belong here. This banner should basically live under the collections if you want to include it, but not on the product page. That doesn't make any sense, and it basically just takes away from the above the fold section, which could be used to showcase more important bits like add to cart, adding more quantity, or maybe even looking into the size chart, whatnot. So basically, when we scroll down, this bit right here, it's not bad because I can basically see everything right away in a single view. I can switch between the products. It's, functional, it's fine. This bit is problematic, right? So basically we want to optimize this always by either removing some of the content, by making the font perhaps slightly smaller, and of course maybe removing and rearranging some of the other information that you have around. For example, the SKUs could maybe potentially be added right here. The brand, you could basically organize it and put it somewhere below in the collapsible section where you have more information about the product. You essentially want to leave room for the add to cart buttons and quantity and any potential upsells, because you as a user, you never want to look for the add to cart button because that creates friction and that basically annoys customers, and they will most likely hop off if they want to buy right away. Of course, it's slightly different with the type of the product, whether you're buying socks or you're buying, a watch. It really, depends, of course, that you want to do a bit more research. And that is where that credibility below the fold comes into play. So let's go below a bit further. So then we have, again, this description, which it should not belong here. It should basically either be, hidden under some of the collapsible sections, or you could do a workaround where you basically have it like below collapsible, and then you have like a small read more right here. When you click there, it will basically kind of slide you down to open that up. So there are a few workarounds, but you do not want to kind of waste this precious section for that. This is again a dummy broken site done by someone, so that's why we don't really need to count it as like a proper official site, and that is why the color swatches are kind of broken here. But yeah, you kind of get the gist, right? So, but this is done like totally in a wrong way. So the add to cart, as I said, should basically be properly placed right there. The color swatches should of course be visible and interactive. The quantity should usually be right under the add to cart, and then you would basically have the pricing, wish list, and all of this is fine. Having two add to cart buttons is definitely not recommended. The one way how, of course, it can work if you basically maybe have like a shop now button, but that also needs to be A/B tested because that could basically also hurt your conversions essentially. Let's go below. This section is also, in my opinion, too big. It's not too bad if you basically have it like done properly and have like smaller and have the content organized in a proper way. These two sections are basically not interactive at all. They're just like placeholder. But again, I would have reviews as a separate section perhaps, and then I would have the shipping information maybe under that collapsible section right here. That would make everything more cluttered, and that would give you more space to maybe create a more meaningful section right here. And then of course they finish up with With the upsells, this is not bad because you basically do want to have the upsells right here. The problem here is, again, the site is not complete, so this is not ADA compliant, this is not visible, and it's just terrible. But for the most part, it kind of works because you do have those upsells. You have the info about a product, the price, and then the add to cart. So roughly it works, but it's just not done in the best way. Now let's compare it to another brand. So the only thing that I would comment on here is that the thumbnail image, it's way too big. So the competitor, they basically have it, they're not a competitor, but just another site that I picked. They did it better because you can see everything at once above the fold, and you can switch between. So right here, you kind of need to still scroll here, pick an image and go back up, right? It's just not ideal. Then when we focus on the right side, um, it's it's basically done properly. So we can see that here is the title. Here is more info about the product, what basically, which problem does it solve. Then you basically have some credibility with the reviews stars. Below you have, um, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but some sort of the metric and info. So you basically have subscribe and save right here. You can basically click subscribe and save, and you can then switch between the options and the months. And this is very important. It basically gives the information that you can cancel or skip anytime. That basically also adds to that credibility. Then finally, you have the add to cart, which is great in my opinion. Maybe they could have added also like a quantity right here that would have been helpful, but you know it's not bad. Then they do have the additional information right here, but it is cleverly hidden, I would say. It's basically right under the add to cart, so it's not that bad, right? It can basically pass. It's clear, it's organized, it's easy to read, and it's basically a good section. Next, they have additional credibility with what's inside a product. They basically talk about the product. The section is designed nicely, and it just works. It fits. It makes me want to buy more. The only downside is, since this is a product page, even though this is valuable, I would, yeah, it's not bad because it kind of stays on the same page. If it would redirect you to another page, then it's bad, right? So you never want to have another call to action button that leads you to another page. If it is collapsing, it's fine. It's ideal that it doesn't exist at all, that you just basically have maybe like a smaller section, but this is still fine. But you never want to have it like redirect to another page. I would remove some of the white space here, but it's good. We have classic FAQ section. It's collapsible and it works well. Now, this section is extremely important. If you have any video testimonials, especially nowadays, that is what sells the best. It basically builds the automatic credibility, and it's just a great way to enhance your product page. Then they have the compare table. If it's relevant to your product, if you can have it, definitely have it, because it also adds to that trustworthiness and it basically makes you more credible as a brand. Reviews, same thing. You always want to have the reviews. There are plenty of almost free apps which you can basically use and just embed and have, to use their reviews. That'll be quite helpful. Finally, we have the you may also like. It's done in a really nice way. You could play with this, for example, the add to cart. I like that it is just laid out right here, but if not, some brands have it on hover. So basically when you hover over the image, then the add to cart would show here, which is also fine and acceptable. I would maybe only suggest that we could potentially also put some sort of the you may also like further up. So I could potentially have it right here, maybe like a bundle builder or something similar. Because oftentimes, like if you're here, you're just scrolling, you kind of just want to add more to your cart even before going into the slide out cart. And let's see what we have next. Yeah, and that's about it. They basically have a basic footer. So in summary, add to cart definitely needs to be above the fold. You always want to see everything right away, right here. That's extremely important. And then everything below is credibility. Just think if you are buying something, right? You want to basically be sure other people bought it, there are reviews, there are some additional information about the product, and it's basically credible. Because if the product doesn't have any reviews, any testimonials, there is like no a lot of information, I will never buy it because I will think that it is some sort of a scam. So yeah, I hope this helped. I will be creating a lot of these videos for Shopify, how you can potentially optimize your store further. And I hope this helped. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.